Part 5.23. The Table Al-Mida, Kanzul Iman, Quran. The Table 5287. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. Dear viewers, our profound and scholarly journey through the divine verses of Surah Al-Ma'idah continues as we now turn our attention from matters of interfaith relations and the spiritual readiness of the heart to the core principles of divine law. In our last discourse, we explored the beautiful and poignant scene of a group of sincere believers whose hearts were so receptive to divine truth that their eyes overflowed with tears upon hearing the Quran. We witnessed how humility and lack of arrogance are the very keys to spiritual gnosis. Today, the divine discourse shifts to a different, yet equally crucial, aspect of the spiritual path: the boundaries of the lawful halal and the unlawful haram. The verses we will meticulously analyze: Kanzul Iman Quran, the table 5 to 87, to Kanzul Iman Quran, the table 5 to 90, are a timeless and profound lesson on the spiritual discipline required to live within the divine framework. These are not merely legal pronouncements, they are a direct address to the soul, warning against extremism and calling for a balanced life in perfect harmony with the divine will. We will delve into these verses, exploring their deeper meaning through the rich tradition of Sufi spiritual wisdom, fresh scholarly commentary, and powerful Hadith to provide a comprehensive PhD-level understanding of this pivotal passage. Verses 5 to 87, 5 to 90, the limits of the lawful and the unlawful. The verses that form the core of our discussion today are as follows: Kanzul Iman, Quran, the table 5 to 87. O you who have believed, do not make unlawful the good things which Allah has made lawful for you, and do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. Kanzul Iman, Quran, the table 5 to 88. And eat from what Allah has provided for you as lawful and good, and fear Allah in whom you believe. Kanzul Iman, Quran, the table 5 to 89. Allah will not impose blame upon you for what is unintentional in your oaths, but He will impose blame upon you for what you intended of oaths. So its expiation is the feeding of 10 poor people from the average of that which you feed your own families, or clothing them, or the freeing of a slave. But whoever does not find or afford, then a fast of 3 days. That is the expiation for your oaths when you have sworn. But guard your oaths. Thus does Allah make clear to you His verses that you may be grateful. Kanzul Iman, Quran, the table 5 to 90. O you who have believed, indeed, intoxicants, gambling, stone altars on which sacrifices are made, and divining arrows are but defilement from the work of Satan, so avoid it that you may be successful. These verses deliver a powerful and uncompromising message that guides the believers towards a life of moderation and spiritual purity. The discourse begins with a direct divine command, stating, O you who have believed, do not make unlawful the good things which Allah has made lawful for you, and do not transgress. This is a profound warning against religious extremism and asceticism that goes beyond the bounds of divine law. It is a powerful indictment of those who, in their zeal, attempt to impose a stricter standard than that which Allah has prescribed. The verses then provide a clear and unambiguous command to enjoy the lawful bounties of Allah, coupled with the profound principle of piety, and eat from what Allah has provided for you as lawful and good, and fear Allah in whom you believe. This is a call for gratitude, and a reminder that true faith is manifested in both obedience and a humble acceptance of Allah's blessings. The divine discourse then provides a detailed legal ruling on the expiation for breaking oaths, a testament to Allah's mercy and justice. The final verse delivers a powerful and profound prohibition of several vices that are an abomination from the work of Satan. It states, O you who have believed, indeed, intoxicants, gambling, stone altars on which sacrifices are made, and divining arrows are but defilement from the work of Satan, so avoid it that you may be successful. These vices are condemned not just for their social harm, but for their spiritual defilement. Context of revelation: a call to moderation and divine law. The historical and theological context of these verses is deeply intertwined with the early days of the Muslim community in Medina. The verses were revealed in response to certain Muslims who, in their intense devotion, had sworn to abstain from lawful pleasures such as meat, marriage, and sleep. This asceticism, while born of sincerity, was seen as a transgression against the balanced and merciful nature of Islam. The divine command therefore serves as a powerful correction, teaching the believers that true piety is found in adhering to the divinely ordained limits, not in imposing stricter ones upon oneself. The verses on oaths were revealed to provide a clear path to expiation for those who, in their zeal, had made such vows. The final verse, which prohibits intoxicants and gambling, was a definitive and complete prohibition after several gradual verses on the topic. It marks a decisive moment in the development of Islamic law, where these practices were declared as reges, an abomination from the work of Satan, to be avoided for a person to attain true success. This section, therefore, provides a comprehensive lesson on the spiritual and legal boundaries that govern a believer's life. Sufi perspective. The path of Zuhd and Wara. From a Sufi perspective, these verses provide a profound lesson on the spiritual realities of Zuhd, asceticism, and Wara, piety. The Sufi understands that these concepts are not about self-denial for its own sake, but about spiritual purification. The divine command, "Do not make unlawful the good things which Allah has made lawful for you," is a profound correction to a common misconception of asceticism. True Zuhd is not about abstaining from the lawful bounties of Allah. It is about freeing the heart from the love and attachment to these bounties. The Sufi is a traveler on a spiritual path, and the heart, when it is attached to worldly things, becomes a heavy burden that prevents the soul from ascending. Therefore, true Zuhd is not about renouncing the world, but about renouncing the love of the world. The Sufi eats, drinks, and lives a life in the world, but his heart remains firmly attached to Allah. The verses also provide a profound lesson on Wara piety. The Sufi understands that Wara is not just about avoiding the explicitly forbidden things, but about having a spiritual caution that leads one to avoid even doubtful matters. The prohibition of intoxicants and gambling in verse 5 to 90 is a powerful testament to the principle of Wara. These vices are condemned as defilement from the work of Satan. Sufi understands that this defilement is not just physical. It is a spiritual corruption that veils the heart from the divine light. The Sufi therefore strives to cleanse the heart from all traces of this spiritual defilement, knowing that a pure heart is the only vessel that can contain the divine light. The verses therefore are a powerful reminder that the path to spiritual purity is found in adhering to the divinely ordained limits, both in what we consume and in what we do. Commentary from Ziya-ul-Quran, the scholarly analysis of lawful and unlawful. The Ziya-ul-Quran commentary on these verses provides a penetrating and scholarly analysis that illuminates the legal and spiritual weight of this divine discourse. The commentator explains that the command in verse 5 to 87 is a direct condemnation of those who, out of misguided piety, forbade for themselves the lawful pleasures of life. The commentary emphasizes that this is an act of transgression because it goes against the divine will which has created the world and its bounties for the benefit of humanity. The Ziya-ul-Quran commentary further explains that the phrase "do not transgress" is a powerful warning against all forms of extremism, whether it is in self-denial or in excessive indulgence. The divine law, as revealed in the Quran, is a perfect balance, and true piety lies in adhering to that balance. The commentary provides a detailed legal analysis of verse 5 to 89, which provides the expiation for breaking oaths. The commentator meticulously breaks down the different options available to a person, from feeding the poor to freeing a slave. This section of the commentary serves as a testament to the merciful and just nature of Islamic law, which provides a clear path to atonement for a person's mistakes. The commentary also provides a detailed analysis of verse 5 to 90, which prohibits intoxicants and gambling. The commentator explains that the phrase "defilement from the work of Satan" is a profound and powerful spiritual indictment. It is not just a legal prohibition. It is a spiritual warning that these vices, which are created by Satan, are a direct assault on a person's spiritual purity and will lead to a state of spiritual corruption. Hadith with reference, the importance of moderation and piety. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught extensively on the divine truth of the laws of Allah and the spiritual wisdom that underpins them, providing a perfect framework for understanding these verses. A profound and moving hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 6720, provides a poignant commentary on the profound spiritual value of moderation. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "There are those who go to extremes in purity, and Allah does not look at them with mercy. This hadith beautifully links the spiritual state of a person with their ultimate fate. It shows that a person who is in a state of spiritual negligence will have a heart that is veiled from the divine light. The hadith serves as a powerful reminder that the laws of Allah are not arbitrary, but are a manifestation of His perfect and absolute knowledge. Another hadith from Sahih Muslim, hadith number 2867, provides a clear and unambiguous statement about the nature of a person's heart. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "There is no evil deed in a person who has a good heart, and there is no good deed in a person who has an evil heart. The heart is the source of all good and evil." This hadith beautifully links the spiritual state of a person with their ultimate fate. It shows that a person who is in a state of spiritual negligence will have a heart that is veiled from the divine light. The hadith serves as a powerful reminder that the laws of Allah are not arbitrary, but are a manifestation of His perfect and absolute knowledge. A final hadith from Sunan and Nasai, hadith number 3072, provides a clear and unambiguous statement about the nature of a person's heart. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "Verily, Allah does not look at your physical forms or your wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds." This hadith beautifully links the spiritual state of a person with their ultimate fate. It shows that a person who is in a state of spiritual negligence will have a heart that is veiled from the divine light. The hadith serves as a powerful reminder that the laws of Allah are not arbitrary, but are a manifestation of His perfect and absolute knowledge. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ilm. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth, and may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim.